Welcome. This is Ed the Finance Guy. I greatly appreciate you turning into the channel. I try to be as informative as possible, try to go over different financial situations. My background is being an accountant, being a credit repair consultant. And today I wanted to go over something that's very important to me. I had a radio show for many years and I spoke about credit repair. And credit repair is an important topic to know about and to learn about because it is very, very important. Now, why is it good to have good credit? Well, you want to get loans, you want to get credit cards, you want to get a mortgage. If you have good credit, your car insurance rates are lower. If you have bad credit, you're paying twice as much car insurance as you would be paying. You can get a car loan. Recently, they had the SBA loans, the economic disaster loans that businesses had. You needed to have a 620 credit score in order to get these loans. So it was very important to have good credit for these type situations. Now, there is a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and that reporting act gives you permission to question anything on your credit report, any errors. You have a right to question, and you have a 30-day window in which they have to respond. If they don't respond, it'll get deleted from the credit report. Now, you can ask, you can correct anything on your credit report. Very often I see people that have names that are incorrect. They have AKAs, so it would be Ed Linzer, Ed Linsmer. It would be different spellings of your last name. And what's important about getting rid of those things is if there's ever a collection under the wrong name and they pull up a list of your names and they see that name there, they could put a collection that belongs to another Ed Linzer on my credit report. So it's very, very important that you correct all the AKAs, make sure it's your name. Sometimes they have your name and your wife's name combined, but everybody has their own credit report, even if they're married, based on the Social Security number. Now, the three main credit reporting agencies are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And what they do is they get information from your creditor and they gather it together and put it on a report. So they don't make any distinction about who you borrowed money from, what you owe money, who you owe money to, if you're late, you're not late. They're just gathering the information that they're collecting from all of your creditors. And it very rarely is it correct. So you'll see mistakes constantly on people's credit reports, and I see it all the time, especially if you have a familiar name like Smith. You're going to see things on your credit report that don't belong to you. The only way to know exactly what's right and what's wrong in your credit report is once a year, you have to go online and get a copy of your credit report. Now, very often people say, well, if I get a credit report that many times, it's going to affect my score. If you get a credit report once a year, it's not going to affect your score at all. So you can get a credit report from annualcreditreport.com, which is a free site. You don't have to pay for it at all. You also can get a credit report from Experian or Equifax or TransUnion. If you were declined for credit, you can get that report for free. If you weren't and you just want to see a copy of your credit report, they charge you $39. They do charge you. So it's important, even if you have to pay that $39, to know exactly what's on your credit report, because I've been doing credit repair for about 20 years, I would say. I'm telling you, I can't imagine how often I find things on people's reports that are incorrect. So when I see something that's incorrect, I'll fight it. I'll send a letter to the bureau saying, I represent this client. I'll have your power of attorney, which I do for many people. And I'll say, listen, this is an item on the credit report. It's so-and-so, Chase Manhattan Bank, whatever it is. It doesn't belong to the client. So they'll do a research of it. They'll contact the bank. They'll say, we have somebody that is questioning something that's on the credit report. And the credit reporting agencies want everything to be correct. That's the most important thing for them. They don't want things on people's credit report that's incorrect. They want to make sure they gathered the correct information, and they base your credit scores on that. So you'll see many negative things on your report, which is affecting your scores. Could be 10 points, could be 20 points. Now, there are three credit reporting agencies, and they all look at everything on your credit report differently. So when you see your credit report, you say, how come one bureau is saying my score is 670, the other one's saying 620, the other one's saying 610? Why are they all different? Why isn't all my credit card companies reporting to the same agencies? Why are the scores different? It's an interesting question No one has the answer because the credit reporting agencies don't tell you exactly how they figure out your credit numbers because they don't want people to know the truth because then you could play around and figure out a way to beat the system. So many credit card companies or car loan people, they don't report to all three companies. Some of them only report to one. Some report to two. So you're going to have different items on the credit reports. That's why it's important when you get your credit report to get all three agencies. Get them all, check them over, check the names, check the addresses, check everything on the report, see if they're all belonging to you. If you have a collection, very often you have a collection for, let's say, a Visa card you didn't pay, you're going to end up, if you don't pay it, it's going to be sold to another collection agency. So sometimes you pull your credit report, you see you have a Visa debt, you have an ABC collection company, you have an XYZ collection agency, and they're all the same, all three of them are for the same debt. So you want to be able to make sure everything is correct. You want to send letters to two of those three and say, look, this item doesn't belong to me. It's already on my credit report. Why is it on 3 times? It's on 3 times. It's affecting your score, maybe 10 or 15 points for each one. So you could see a drop of 45 points in your score. So the idea is to try to get rid of 2 of those 3 and say, listen, those 2 don't belong to me. And if you're able to get it deleted, because when Equifax sends a letter and it's not responded to, it'll come off the credit report. So anything you delete off your credit report that's negative will increase your score. So that's the credit repair game. To send letters, try to get things that are negative deleted. Getting things like your AKA names, a different name, that won't affect your score. But getting, let's say, an inquiry removed that's on there, that'll affect your score, maybe a point or 2. So sending letters regarding inquiries is also another way of increasing your score by sending them a letter saying, listen, I know there's an inquiry on my credit report. I never authorized it. So a lot of times they'll have those will be removed. When you have certain credit card companies, when you sign an application, you give them permission to pull your credit once every year because they want to see what's going on. Maybe they want to increase your credit line. Maybe they want to decrease your credit line because now you've had a bad year, you're not working, so they want to lower your available credit. So those companies have the right to pull your credit more than once a year. So if you send a letter finding that inquiry, there's a good chance they're going to say, well, you gave the company permission to pull your credit report, so that's why you see the inquiry. But the important thing is to try to fight anything that's on your credit report. The worst that'll happen is it'll come back saying unchanged, or it'll say deleted. So you want to get as many things possible deleted. Very often you go for a job, you're filling out a job application, you put your social security number down, you don't read the fine print, and it's giving the employer permission to pull your credit. So now if you have a credit problem, especially if you have a credit problem that's $50, you're not paying it, and I'm trying to hire you and I see you have a $50 outstanding debit, I'm scratching my head saying, why aren't you paying this $50 debit? I'm not thinking maybe it's wrong. I'm thinking, how come this guy's not paying his IRS bill of $200? Why do I want to hire somebody like that? So very often you'll end up not getting a job because your credit scores are low. So it really is very, very important to keep your credit risk scores high. Also, the 3 credit reporting agencies, they all report differently, as I said. One of them is a little bit too lenient. One of them is very strict. And the third one is in the middle. So what they do is they want to get your credit score, you go for a mortgage. Let's say your credit score is 650 from one bureau, 610 from the other bureau, and 490 from the third bureau, which I know it sounds crazy, but it has happened. What the mortgage company does is they eliminate the highest score, saying, well, they were too lenient. They eliminate the low score, saying, oh, they were too strict. And they take the score in the middle. It doesn't mean they average the 3 scores out. They take the 3 scores, they get rid of the top score, they get rid of the bottom score, whatever's the second score. So if it's 650, 649, and 500, your score is 649, the middle score. So that's how they determine what rate you're going to get. So if your score is 620, you may get a 3.5% mortgage or a 4% mortgage. If your score is 720, you may get a 3% mortgage. You can put less down. So there is this extremely big benefit, making sure your score is high, making sure your credit report is correct. If there's something on the credit report that's late or a problem, or you lost your job because of COVID, what you could do is you could add a statement to your credit report. You can write a letter to the bureau saying, listen, please add this statement to my credit report. And that statement could be, I've been working at a company for 21 years. They laid me off. They furloughed me for 6 months. I wasn't able to make these payments. Please understand, I will keep making the payments when I get my job. It's not going to affect your score, but whoever pulls your credit is going to see that statement, and they're going to make a determination. And they're going to say, well, this guy has got a pretty good guy. He had a problem. What am I going to do? And they're going to see your statement, and it could affect whether you get hired. It could affect whether you get a loan or a credit card. So it's very, very important to look through these things and make sure everything is correct. Another place to go is Credit Karma. You hear about Credit Karma. They give you credit report, they give you everything, but they give you a score as well, but it's not accurate. The main place where you can get an accurate score is either you have to pay the credit bureaus for that score, or if you go directly to a mortgage company and you have a friend that works for a mortgage company, you have them pull a tri-merge, which gives you a credit report from all 3 agencies, and they'll give you the scores. That's the most accurate place to get a score. Credit Karma gives you scores, but they're not accurate. At least with Credit Karma, you'll see what's on your report, what's not on your report, and you'll know exactly what to fight. So again, it's very important. Pull your credit once a year, annualcreditreport.com, see what's on there, make sure it belongs to you. If you have any kind of an issue with a creditor, you try to make some kind of a settlement, and we're going to review that in the next video. Again, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm happy that I can help people because education is power, and I want everyone to stay safe out there, be smart, do the right thing. I hope to see you again. Please like, share the video. If you need me, 516-205-0722. I'm a phone call away. If you have a quick question, you want to email me, no charge, ed1959@usa.com. I'm here to help. Keep listening and have a good day.